What's up guys, CyberHoudini here and welcome back to your daily dose of gaming. Welcome. It is Thursday the 20th of May. May has just gone out the window. I can't believe how fast this month has gone, but it is not without massive amounts of news. Hello, how's it going, Eric? Damn, straight in the building. Damn. How are you doing today? Yeah, it looks like a lot of good news and bad news coming. We're getting a lot of the early kind of E3 announcements out of the way, and possibly a lot of delays as well. Later on, we'll be playing some Little Nightmares 2 as well. I wanted to give it a little bit of break and then jump straight into it. I've seen a couple people play it. Wanted to get into it fresh. Oh yes, we've been playing some Subnautica lately as well, which has been a lot of fun. I need to try and fix out the little screen tear, and I believe there is a way of accessing console commands on console, which is kind of crazy because we got the CMOD stuck yesterday, and I managed to cheat it and get away of basically like saving far away where the chunk didn't load, loading back in, running over there as fast as I could, and grabbing it out of the dirt, and it actually worked where the ground hadn't fully kind of rendered in yet. So yeah, it's a great game, really cool. I'm probably playing it too much because I was like, yesterday I was like, oh my god, I'm getting that weird pressure headache as if you were underwater. It's wild. Anyway, let's get into the news today. Yeah, we're starting off with some big news. Good god, that's bright. There are rumors and reports of Hellblade 2, Elden Ring, and Hollow Knight SILKSONG not showing up at E3. These are possibly three of the biggest, most wanted games right now. And yeah, it's a little bit rough. We know that things are kind of unusual with Hollow Knight right now. Like, it's been long rumored. We've seen a lot of gameplay, and the fact that it's not in our hands yet is crazy. Recently, we saw Crowsworn, a brand new Hollow Knight and Bloodborne inspired 2D side-scroller announced. And it looks like we might get that game before we get Hollow Knight SILKSONG. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on over there. There is quite a small team, but it's still a little bit shocking nonetheless. You know, I know things with COVID and that have been a little rough, but you know, I think Australia and New Zealand were one of the lesser hit areas, but yeah, it is what it is. Everything will be finished in its own time. Elden Ring, right now I think Elden Ring, it feels like it's at that point where it's just stubbornness, you know. I'm doing alright, took the morning off to get some plumbing done. Very nice, very nice. I feel you on that. I've had to get a lot of stuff ready here, you know, for the big move. Painting and stuff. There's a lot of like little holes and things you gotta, little tiny cosmetic stuff that you gotta clean up. I hate it. Anyway, so yeah, with Elden Ring, I think at this point Miyazaki is just severely pissed at all the leaks that have been happening, and he's just holding off news. But we'll see. The fact that it doesn't show up at E3, it may still show up at Bandai Namco's next event, which they usually like to do. And then when it comes to Hellblade, we haven't really seen any gameplay or anything like that for Hellblade 2. Just that incredible trailer. I've been watching a lot of the developer diaries, and that's been kind of cool, you know, just watching the motion capture and the stunt work happening. So it's clear if that's going on. I don't know when they were exactly recorded, but they've been released on a weekly basis now. If that's happening, that's usually a sign that they're still working on it. So yeah, another sign. Like, Ninja Theory are quite a small team as well. I think they're like way below even like 50 people or something like that. So yeah, just know that these games are all coming, but we'll see. You know, E3 will be a big tell-all. Right now, I've been reporting on Starfield a lot lately. You know, whether it's coming this year, is it going to be exclusive to this platform or that platform? But it does seem that it's going to get you know, delayed. I don't think it's coming this year. I'm still sticking by what I said, that they might go for a 22nd of February 2022. So you get that 2. Dynamite, thank you for that host, dude. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a bit. I hope you're well. I was thinking of you. Hopefully the plumbing goes well, Eric. I know that can always be a little rough. You know, this plumbers, I know what it is. Like, I was an electrician for a good bit, and yeah, we always had trouble with plumbers. Plumbers are, without a shadow of doubt, no offense or anything, but in my personal experience in this country, the plumbers are an absolute joke. They are literally the epitome of like builder's arse, sitting around drinking tea all day and breaking shit. But yeah, hopefully they're better over there because they're cowboys over here. So yeah, we'll see about Elden Ring and all that. What I've seen of that little leaked trailer definitely looked like a From Software game. So I'm hyped for that. I don't know what's going on with my camera lately. I think the last Windows update has completely fucked this. It just won't focus now anymore. It's all over the place. But we'll see. I'll just keep messing around with it. It was fine. I don't change any of my settings. It breaks on its own with stupid ass updates. So yeah. Alright, cool. So what's this website? It's Metro of all things. Alright. Well, I don't usually get my news from these kind of websites. I get them from all over the internet. But it's always nice just to kind of, you know, give a shout out to some of these websites if they're reporting on it. Yeah, so Starfield, I'd say 2022. I know it sounds cheesy for them to do 2, but they did that with Skyrim with, you know, the 11th, what was it, 1st of November, 11. No, it was 11th of November, there you go. So maybe they'll do something like that. Maybe Elder Scrolls 6 will be the 3rd of May or something, 2020, I don't know. Who knows? Haven't been on any streams. Alright, hopefully everything's good. It's good. I know it's hard to keep the old mental health going. It's tough. It's important to look after yourself. Yeah, guys seem like they're doing work. Hell yeah. Hopefully there was no leaks or anything. Just recently, you know, I'm excited for Biomutant, which is coming out on Tuesday. Super hyped for that. They've been showing off a lot of content and trailers. They even got recently Conan O'Brien to play it, which I would never have thought that this was going to happen. Now, recently they just gave out a trailer with some PS5 and Xbox Series X gameplay, which is great. It looks fantastic, super chill as well. Just watching them being able to explore the open world is lovely, lovely. This game is going to be special. When I saw them let PewDiePie play it, I was like, okay, well, it kind of didn't make sense because he's probably never heard of it before, but then also kind of made sense because they're both Swedish. You know, it's a Swedish studio, Swedish YouTuber like PewDiePie, and you know, at the end of the day, you want to try and get as much exposure out there. Then I was even more surprised to see Conan doing it. Just super cool. Because I'm telling you, ask anybody about this game that's not in our circle, they don't have a fucking clue about it. And it's sad. Now, the team that make the Up Experiment 101 are, you know, they've worked on such games like Mad Max, the Just Cause series, and many more. So they are heavily, like, you know, they're very, very cool devs. They know what they're doing. They've got a lot of experience. And I hope a lot of people take a chance and buy Biomutant because it's going to be special. Just anytime I see a trailer, they're showing off new weapons, new modes of transport. The Clockwork Hand is insane. So I'm going to enjoy my time with this one for sure. I was on board like 3 years ago when I first heard of it. Now I'm even more on board. I love the idea of all these little like anthropomorphic little dudes, you know. We're all so sick of the same little humans running around screaming. But it's cool to have, you know, these little kind of tribes and that, you know. It cracks me up. Boop. And the combat's fucking fast. I'm not gonna lie, this guy who's playing right now, not doing the best, but he's probably got it on really tough as well. And it seems like it's closer to me like Witcher 3 meets Fable. That's the best way of putting it, because holy, you're gonna have a whole morality system in the game as well, between light and dark aura, which will affect how the player character looks, what kind of powers you're gonna get, how the story develops. Oh, so cool. Yeah. Are any of you guys thinking of playing this one? It's also going to be at a very fair, normal price at $60, €60, which is perfect in a world where Sony are trying to get away with €85 for a brand new game. You can suck it! Suck it, Sony! SOS! SIS. SIS. TUB. Stay in school. Because you're the bitch. Alright, so that's Biomutant on PS5. It's looking so drenched in color. I love it. I love it. So many games try and go for a realistic vibe, and it's about time we had a beautiful, colorful world. It's even like with something like Genshin Impact, which is also open world. It has a lot of colorfulness to it, but it's almost like anime style. It's a little bit dulled, you know. They were definitely going for something like Breath of the Wild. But with Biomutant, they're not afraid to add that just beautiful like saturation, you know. It looks gorgeous. The grass is fucking green. Oh, look at this. I've been trying not to watch too many trailers, but I can't help it. I can't help it. Wow. I seen there was a demo released today on Xbox for Scarlet Nexus. That might be something I mess around with. That'll be coming out at the end of June. Might be worth waiting. Sometimes demos can be like, do damage more than good. Crazy face, I like that. Definitely interesting. Nice. It's so hard to play all the games though, right? For sure. On to the next piece of news. Some great news. Absolutely stonking news today. Stonks. We have finally confirmation that Time Splitters is coming back. I've known for a while that there was rumblings and whether they're going to remake the original or remaster them, do a collection. But now we have Coach Media come out. They own the IP. They're pretty much the big boys. They like, I think they own like Dead Island and fucking Saints Row. They're a huge big company. But they have reformed Free Radical Studios, who are, you know, some of the original people who worked on the original studio anyway. So they're bringing back Time Splitters. As far as I can tell, it looks like it's going to be a reboot. We haven't seen Time Splitters in about 15 years or so. Last one we got, I believe, was Time Splitters Future Soldier. They were working on like something like Time Splitters 4, but Jesus Christ, it never happened. Never happened. It's a great game. Time Splitters is one of those series FPS that followed closely around the time of, you know, Perfect Dark and GoldenEye and all that kind of stuff. You know, it felt like the next iteration after those games. So yeah, it'd be great to see this come back. Of course, the thing that really separated Time Splitters from those games is that it was just pure satirical fun. You know, they poked fun at anything they could, from movies to TV shows. I think in the newest one they were talking about wanting to poke fun at video games and that, including like having a weird little Master Chief joke in there. But we'll see. I'm excited for this. It's about time. I think Time Splitters is a weird mix of nostalgia and niche. It's been gone so long that a lot of this generation wouldn't have a clue about it, you know. But it's great to see that back. I've been talking about how desperately we need games like Saints Row back, you know. Like, whatever the hell happened, we somehow just ran out of steam, and all the kind of gangster open world games are just gone, you know. Mafia tried to remake the first game. It's beautiful. But where's like the next Mafia? Where's the next Saints Row? Where's more like Godfather or Scarface or anything like these, or the Saboteur? These are great IP that are just being left, and there's definitely, you know, want for it. I think a lot of people would love to see these games return. I know they're working on a new Saints Row, but we're far off for that. But I would love to see them come back. It's one of those genres, like the zombie genre, that needs to be around forever, you know. You know, you never get sick of a zombie game. That's another one. Dead Rising needs to come back too as well. They did a lot of failure, unfortunately, with Dead Rising 4. But maybe it's time to remake the original, you know, perfectly, you know, instead of trying to build upon it. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. That's great. Time Splitters is back. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Fall Guys just recently announced they have, they're adding some Tron skins, which is funny. It's a no-brainer for all the future stuff they've been doing, and they look really good. You got like OG Tron there, the first costume in blue right there. That's original Tron. Then we've got Tron Legacy with the other two, and then the last one, and actually 22k kudos. That's interesting. Oh, DLC. It's probably, you know how it is, probably going to charge for that, but still, it's nice to see that. Tron Legacy is now over 10 years old, which is crazy. Like, I don't know where the hell that went, but it is 10 years old. I was always hoping Disney would get a finale, you know, make it into a trilogy before, you know, it was too late. And now we know it is too late because Daft Punk has split up, unfortunately. So that sucks. But with me thinking about it, I was like, oh, it's only been a few years, you know, there's time to do another movie. But then when I figured out it was 10 years, I don't even blame, like, Daft Punk at all. Disney just don't know what the fuck they're doing half the time, you know. Too invested in Marvel, I think. They don't give a shit about anything else. But anyway, so we probably will never see Tron come back. And if we do, Tron without Daft Punk does not make sense to me. I'm sorry, it is what it is. They really made that movie. That movie's like a 7 out of 10, and then with Daft Punk's movie, it brings it up to like a fucking 9.5. You know, it's so good. Always added crossplay. Yeah, I saw that. It's good. I'm glad they're doing that. It's about time. People always give this game shit because they were on that Among Us stuff. But you go over to Among Us and it's just cancer. So, I don't know. It's always a weird rivalry between Fall Guys and Among Us. And I'm like, they're completely different games. Completely different. At least with Fall Guys, you only have to put up with these stupid grabbers. You don't have to listen to, you know, stupid kids in chats and all that. Fucking idiots. But yeah, it's always the fan base that ruins games, not the games themselves. I always say that. So yeah, Among Us is still a great game too. Hell yes! I see Fall Guys are talking about wanting to add a chat or voice chat and all that. I'm like, no, do not. It's perfect the way it is. Can you imagine the amount of vitriol that would be released if they did that? Good lord. Well, that was weird. Probably trying to load an ad. Alright, on to the next piece of news. We have confirmation that Xbox and Bethesda are planning in doing a joint stream or joint conference for E3. It's pretty cool. Why does the music sound so loud today? Bow, bow. My freaking ears, man. Yeah, it's definitely freaking out. What's up, buddy? What's wrong? Down, 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 down. Alright, yeah, so I still think they'll do something where Xbox will do its thing and then it'll just be directly after Bethesda will do its thing. Because I think if they mash it all together, it's going to be too much of a mess. And I believe that Bethesda deserve their moment, even if Xbox want to be like, please welcome onto the stage, Pete Hines kind of thing, you know. It'll still be digital. This is all going on, you know, the first week of June. So we're very close. We're like 2.5 weeks away from E3. So get hype. Get hyper. And we'll have the Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley on June 10th. So that Summer Game Fest will be the official start of E3, I think. And then everything else beyond there. So yeah, Matt Booty, which is a fucking great name. He is the head of the studio, Xbox Studio portfolio, basically. You know, he's kind of basically doing Phil Spencer's old job, because Phil Spencer's now the head. Which good for him, he's a good dude, but I think he'll still come on stage, but for all intents and purposes, Phil handles things way above, you know, just acquiring studios and things like that. But yeah, pretty cool. Now is the time for Bethesda and Microsoft to really just let loose. They've also said that they have so much stuff coming that they just ran out of time. And I always say that's a lot of shit, because you just don't run out of time, damn it. If it goes for 3 hours, it goes for 3 hours. And this very well might actually do that, you know. Usually a Bethesda conference has gone on for around 2 hours and Microsoft 2 hours. So if we're getting anything lower than that, it's going to be a little bit rough. But the way things are going with Starfield jumping around, I'd still hope to see some kind of gameplay. If they're talking about, you know, coming out next year sometime, it's important. We need some gameplay. We need some gameplay. And it looks like HELLBLADE probably needs more time. I always say, like, as much as delays are tough, you know, we don't want a repeat of the disaster that was the launch of Cyberpunk, you know. Cyberpunk will come back, I've no doubt. I think that those kind of failures and moments like that are kind of good for a studio, because, you know, even at that point, that studio was getting quite the ego with the success of Witcher 3, to the point of they were going through a lot of internal lawsuits and stuff surrounding bad workplaces and that. So you don't want to see that stuff happening at all. So it's always good. And a lot of people have left that studio too, and I promise you it's probably a good thing. Like, even one guy who left, he left because he believed he was creating a toxic environment, you know. And that's huge of someone to be able to do that, because most of the time they're you know, very tick-headed execs that only want their golden parachutes. They don't give a shit. So we'll see. I think all companies suffer from that, you know. With BioWare and Anthem, I hope that's the moment that they get that kind of kick up the arse to right the train before it completely derails. But we will see. The Bethesda the same as well. It's another studio going through a recovery phase after Fallout 76. I think anyone who plays Fallout 76 now, and since the Wastelander update, have said that it's a damn fine game. So, you know, there is hope for these games. The issue is you shouldn't launch in that state in the first place. And if it takes another year for some of these games like Hellblade 2 and Starfield and that, then so be it. So fucking be it. You know, at least we know these games are coming. We're not in any rush, and we don't want a car crash when it launches, for God's sake. Alright, on to the next little piece of news. We have a brand new trailer for Back for Blood. This is Turtle Rock Studios' brand new game. That studio is made up of a lot of Left 4 Dead developers on that side, and the fact that they're able to do this. What is going on today? I think all my shit's dying today. Anyway, Back 4 Blood is basically a spiritual successor for Left 4 Dead, a next-gen Left 4 Dead. If Valve ain't gonna do it, then Turtle Rock Studios said, hold my fucking beer, you know? I think maybe YouTube's just shitting the bed today. It just looks fantastic. It looks like good old-fashioned Left 4 Dead. I always say that the one thing that really brings Left 4 Dead is the cool zombies, you know? The different types of zombies. And it also had like a cheeky little bit of story to it. But, you know, it's not necessary to have a story. This looks amazing. I think this one was meant to be coming out in August. They've now pulled it back closer to Halloween. So it got a little bit delayed. That's okay too. I think these kind of games are more suited. Boom. For fall. I wonder, will this be a game put on the Game Pass? That's the way things are now. You're like, ooh, could I go to Game Pass? It'd be lovely. Oh, they're showing off a lot of the characters now. Maybe that's why it paused. Probably. Outriders just recently announced that they had over 3.5 million unique players. And I'll tell you, a lot of that is definitely down to the Game Pass. Huge! Square Enix are so happy with that. In fact, they've now called it one of their most important franchises. Which is probably just a lot of kind of blowing smoke up your ass. But still, Outriders is a lot of fun, for sure. It's in a market when you're competing with, you know, things like Marvel's Avengers and Destiny, the GOAT, you know. It's tough. Hello, Val. How's it going? Val, I think this would be a game you'd love. This is Back 4 Blood. It's from the guys who made Evolve, but they're also a lot of developers who made Left 4 Dead. So it's basically like next-gen Left 4 Dead. 4-player co-op. Crazy-ass zombies. You won't have things like, you know, the smoker and Mom. Instant revive. Of course! Mom is always there to revive it. Yeah, you won't have the smoker and the tank back, but you'll have iterations of that, you know, their own versions of things like the witch and that. We're okay with that. Because Valve doesn't seem too interested in making, you know, big games anymore. Half-Life Alyx will, without a shadow of a doubt, be like, you know, it'll be a unique little thing. I think that's probably going to come to consoles soon enough. There's talks of them bringing it to console. Now, whether it'll be just console PSVR or they'll find a way to make it controller-based. There's already mods of that. Damn! Some definitely awesome, unique... The Snitcher. Oh, it must be like a screamer. Dude, that's insane. That's a lot of zombies. That thing's fucked up. They're all little hands. Oh! I was just talking yesterday about there's a good chance of Evil Within 3 coming down the line. That Bethesda and Tango and that had just recently re-upped the trademark for the Evil Within. Just to make sure it doesn't... You know, most of the time they'll do that just to keep it in their, you know, property kind of thing. Because trademarks are so easily robbed. Boop. But yeah, Back 4 Blood with the 4 in the middle, of course, just like Left 4 Dead. You gotta love it. Did they put the release date on it there somewhere? There you go, October 12th. So it was originally slated for August. And it got pushed back. But sure, look, the way it is, you know, we're still gonna feel the effects of the COVID with development of video games all the rest of this year and next year. Easily. Like they've been saying a lot that a lot of Japanese developers suffered because they just had nowhere to take their ginormous offices. They couldn't take them home to the tiny cramped apartments. So a lot of them for nearly 6 months just did no game development at all. So it's kind of crazy. This game would be so fun, run around yelling, screaming. Exactly, yeah. I used to love that you could do that. It had like in-game... Sometimes in-game chat can make things so much better. Like, I think Phasmophobia with in-game chat is fucking hilarious. It just sucks if someone has a bit of a rough mic. When they add that radio effect, it can be... Sometimes you can't even understand what they're saying at all. Yeah, I love when they let you do co-op. Yeah, but just like Left 4 Dead, this one is just all co-op, you know? You can play it single player, but it'll kick your ass. I just don't know if they're gonna, like, have any kind of story. They've never really... These kind of games have never really revolved around the story. But yeah, lots and lots more co-op games are coming out, and I like that. Wasn't that long ago I was playing Strange Brigade, which was a lot of fun too. Hell yeah. Alright, next piece of news. Oh! EA have opened up a brand new studio from one of the Shadow of Mordor executives, which is really cool. Maybe that's them wanting to do something I like that, you know. Shadow Motor is owned by Warner Brothers. They never did make it a trilogy. Maybe they will. We'll see. So I'd say that's EA just trying to make their own thing. But EA still have some rights of the Star Wars franchise with them. So maybe they'll do something like that, you know. Hell yeah. I've been talking about wanting something like really big and open world in the Star Wars vein. We'll see. They've been going through a lot of weird stuff now. We've had like Jade Raymond leave EA Motive to start her own company, and she brought over a lot of talent from EA Motive. But it seemed like she was very unhappy at EA anyway. Apparently there was like a 5-year project called Eden. It was meant to be like GTA, like a GTA Online killer, and EA just said, "Fuck it, you're done, cancel it." That would have been truly like heartbreaking for her, you know. That would have been her baby for years. But I wish her all the best. I'll keep an eye on her new studio and one, because she's very talented. One of the creators of the Assassin's Creed series, you know. Back in the day, she was the one who originally pitched Assassin's Creed, you know. It was all about being in the crowd and that. But yeah, it just that's still good news. Like, new studios forming are also always a good news. I know EA are a bunch of wankers, but still, we may get some good games out of it all the same. Alright, cool. Next little piece of news. Monster Hunter is going to have its own digital event sometime next week. Apparently, the sales for Monster Hunter Rise have been unbelievable. They're super happy. They're also doing Monster Hunter Stories 2 shortly enough on the Switch, which is fucking wild. Most of the digital event will probably be around that. I'm surprised they released 2 Monster Hunter games so close together, but the fans are rabid. The Monster Hunter fans, they'll eat that up, no doubt. Most of the Monster Hunter games on Nintendo have been, you know, side games, spin-offs, because they usually couldn't handle like the bigger games. So it's always been like Monster Hunter Generations and that. See, Monster Hunter World probably will never make it onto Switch because it just can't handle it. So that's where Monster Hunter Rise came from. Capcom probably made one of the coolest moves they've done in a while and decided we're going to make a brand new IP for the Switch in the Monster Hunter universe. And it's paying off. It's absolutely paying off. It's selling like I'm not that familiar with Monster Hunter. It's never really been my series. I find it a little bit too tanky and spongy. The monster's a little bit too spongy to kill, and the enemy feels a little too tanky to move around. Just in my opinion. I've played a couple of them, and yeah, it's closer to something like Dragon's Dogma, which also is done by Capcom. That's a great game too. But they are fantastic games, no doubt. And Monster Hunter Rise is probably the fastest one I have seen. And yeah, you never know. One day I could get into it. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Any Monster Hunter fans out there. Cool. On the last piece of news, it's kind of news, kind of not game related. I found this cool Mass Effect ride that's going on. It's called Mass Effect New Earth, and it's at one of those kind of California experiences or something. It's kind of cool. Apparently these are all the rage. We don't have anything like this. It looks like a fucking football field. 4D. It's been actually around a while. It might even be around like 10 years, but I just said I found it. Have a look at it. It's kind of cool, especially with Mass Effect Legendary Edition that has just come out. Be nice to go there. I don't know if it's even still running, but it's kind of cool. You don't often see this stuff. You might see it surrounding like movies like Jaws or Terminator or something, but around a game series, that's pretty cool. It was this really cool shot of them fighting a Reaper. Hell yeah. This kind of stuff, when you see people together, you're just kind of planning what you're going to do when everything's open again. We're slowly but surely opening things here. Damn, check out the armor. We've got the femship. What's that ride? I don't know if anyone has been on it, but it's one where they're like, you're down in a train station. Is it something like Die Hard or something? Where the train station starts flooding and all that. You're on the ride and you're watching this happen. Looks fucking sick. I've never been on it. So we've got Liara telling you all about the galaxy. It's pretty cool. I know it's mostly just like an interactive experience rather than a full ride, but still, it's super cool. Oh, you gotta love the amount of acting they have to do. It's kind of cool. The fact that it's all centered around Mass Effect is... There's a Reaper right there. Nice. Stab him in the ding-ding. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to do that. Now with Nintendo Land that's going on in Japan, I believe they're building one in the US as well. You're really going to start to see more and more of that. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, in the next 10-20 years you'd see something like PlayStation Land or Xbox Land. Who knows? You invest into those, you know, video game theme parks or theme parks in general. Oh, you're gonna make some sweet fucking bank for sure. Look at what Disney make around $1 billion a day from all their parks. Like, that's fucking wild. Like, think about that, a day. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them buy something like Sony in the future. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Alright, that is everything for today. The biggest news was basically about Elden Ring, Hollow Knight, SILKSONG, and HELLBLADE 2 not being at E3. Sometimes you have to be the bearer of bad news. We can end it off with this little guy here. Nice to see Biomutant getting a lot more exposure. I'm not there going to show Conan O'Brien playing it, because that son of a bitch took down my YouTube channel because I showed off one of his jokes. Damn it, Conan! Damn it! I'll revoke that ginger hair, you son of a bitch. No, I love Conan O'Brien. He's not been looking the best. That new video, Jesus, COVID's been hitting Conan pretty hard. Dude is aged. Anyway, 1080p upscale to 4K 60. Sounds about right. Alright, cool. That is today's Daily Dose.